Hi, my name's Dan. Welcome to Muff Wash and welcome to this video about this Ferrari Testarossa. Right then, what do we know about the Ferrari Testarossa behind me? It's not white, which is a shame because everyone wants to get a Miami Vice car in one day, but it is the first Testarossa we've ever had in. We've had a 512 Boxer, 512B, 328s, other Ferraris from the era, but this car, they're a famous car. This one's coming in for a big job, so what I want to do with this video is show you through each stage as we go on, in a bit more depth, showing what we do to the paintwork, what we're doing underneath the car, the prep stages, everything, because it's come to us from a really good customer of ours, but he's not had the car for the last 12 months because it's been in bits, of pictures of it in pieces, engine out on the floor, gearbox in pieces. It's been at a company just down the road in Knutsford, Adam from AE Performance, who's a really good Ferrari specialist in the area. So it's come to us from having full engine out service, new belts, new hoses, new brakes. It's had a gearbox rebuild, Quicksilver exhaust fitted, loads of other stuff that I'll have missed. But we're kind of using that to take it as an opportunity to make this car out the box, because it's had all the mechanical work done, and surely this is going to be one of the best examples out there once we finish with it. So, as I say, with the video, show you the various stages and talk you through what we're doing. Okay, so stage one with the car, when any car comes to us, we'll obviously inspect the car for any damage or anything like that beforehand, but then we'll move on to what we call like the wash stage, the preparation stage, which will go through a 5 or 6 point process to get the car ready for us to start working on. This comes from quite an in-depth safe wash on the car, which has got your pre-wash stages, snow foam, decontaminating the paint using chemicals, the iron fallout remover, removing any tar. We want to get that car stripped back so there's no contaminants on the paint, nothing that's going to get in the way of us polishing the car. Obviously with this one, we'll still spend some time on the wheels and the arches when the car's outside, but with it having the full works, it's going to end up on a ramp without the wheels on, so we're going to have much better access to the wheels, the suspension components, brake calipers underneath the car. So in this wash stage, they'll get an initial look, but the more in-depth work will come later. This is more about getting the paintwork and the bodywork completely free of dirt and contaminants for us to do our thing later on. Okay, so you're joining us on day 2 of working on the car. As you can see, it's inside now, it's on the ramp, all the wheels have been taken off. We're quite a bit of the way through it. We don't really want to start getting into correcting the paintwork, getting inside the car, treating the leather until all the dirty, messy work's been done. So one of the main things that this is having is, as you can see, Ron down there underneath the car and has been all day, stripping back any salt, dirt, grime off the suspension, the exhaust, any exposed components so we can see underneath the car, trying to get it to concourse condition. This is done various different ways. A lot of it can be steam cleaning, it's using various chemicals. Some of them are quite harsh, but it depends on what materials you're working on underneath the car. So it's not something you can see every day, but it's a very good thing to do for maintaining the car. Again, once the underside is completely clean, like you would when you protect paint, you then protect the underside using underseal, some ceramic coatings and things like that, which will keep it that way for a lot longer, and it guards against corrosion and all that sort of stuff. So that's the first thing that we're going to do to this. Once that's done, we'll then move on to more of the cosmetic work on the paintwork and the interior of the car, which we can show you in a bit more detail. Right, welcome back. Testarossa is all done. Really excited to show you how this car's come up because it's come up way better than we thought it would, to be honest. But I thought in this video, instead of us just telling you what we've done and just saying we've polished it, we've coated it and it looks mega, I'll show you what goes into it. I mean, you'll have seen in some of the footage of the car being machine polished, the paint correction, ceramic coating, the wash stages, so much goes into it. I want to talk about the polishing because obviously with the Testarossa being single stage paint, which is the older style of how cars were painted, where it's essentially just red paint on the car. Modern cars, you'll have primer, colour, clear coat. So what we're doing on modern cars is cutting into the clear coat. The process on a car like this with single stage paint is quite different. It tends to be thicker, it's a lot softer, so you've got to be quite careful when you're working with it, when you hear of people, you know, burning through paint and paint that's thin on edges and all this kind of thing. That's what we've got to be careful with. And obviously you want to try and keep as much originality in the car as you can. This one, I think the front end had been painted. From what we can see, I'd say the rest of it is completely original. So you're working with paint that's over 30 years old. So polishing stages, yeah, you know, if you're into detailing, you'll know what a machine polisher is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 have been used just on this car for various different reasons, which I'll talk you through in a minute. You'll see various polishing pads and compounds that we've used, but interestingly, that's a yellow pad, it's now bright red. That's a green pad, it's now bright red. So you go and polish a modern car, doesn't matter what colour that car is, if the colour transfers onto the pad, you're in a mess because it means you've gone through the clear coat of the car and it needs to go and be resprayed. Whereas single stage paint, as I say, it's just red paint on the car, so you are physically removing quite a lot of the paint when you are polishing it to remove the scratches and imperfections. So we started the process with the paint being in quite a bad way. These two are rotary polishers, 5-inch and a 3-inch, different sizes just to allow for different panels and different angles and bits that you're working with. But the rotary polishers spin on an axis, they spin very quickly, they generate a lot of heat, so these tend to be what we'd use for heavy cutting when we're really trying to remove a higher degree of the paint to take out deeper scratches and things like that, and also use them to level any sort of orange peel or texture in the paint. So once you've done this, this is probably the danger zone really with polishing, but once you're past that point, you then want to work on bringing the gloss and the clarity out of the paintwork once you've removed kind of the imperfections. So then we're moving on to these, which are dual action polishers, again 5-inch, 3-inch. We use 1-inch polisher as well, especially on these with the slats on the doors and very intricate areas. This can be switched between a rotary and a dual action polisher for the various stages. So working through the polishes, you're working through different levels of pads. We've used microfiber pads, different levels of foam pads. People always ask me, oh, what's the best polish to use on my car? There's no such thing. I mean, any car we get in, we've probably got about 30 compounds that we switch between depending on the car. This one's had these 4 used. So you've got Angel Wax Resurrection, which is a good cutting compound, H9 from Kosh Chemie, again, heavy cut compound, F6 from Kosh Chemie, fine cut compound, and then Cartec Final Cut 9000, which is the final stage just to bring out the best of the gloss. So all of this has gone into it. As I say, it's not just the car's been machine polished, there's various different levels to it. Some areas as well have been wet sanded to pull out kind of nibs in the paintwork and things like that. After that, we're then moving on to protecting the car. Obviously, with it being single stage paint, you are limited into what kind of coatings you use. We work with G-Technic. One of their original coatings is C1, which is their only remaining quartz coating. Quartz coatings are fine on single stage paint because they sit on the paint, whereas the more modern and actually more advanced ones that bond to clear coat obviously don't apply because there's no clear coat on the car. So C1, that's then been coated with Exo over the top just for repellency. You've got glass coatings in here, fabric protectors, leather protectors, all kinds of things going into it. But I thought it'd be interesting just to show you what we've used on the car because we're always getting asked, you know, what polish do you use, what pads do you use? There's no right answer for that, it's different for every car. But now we get to show you the car and that's the exciting bit. Okay, so here it is, all done. I want to get loads of stills and close-ups of this car when you walk around it, but it looks absolutely phenomenal. I really hope it shows on camera. You'll have seen in the video how the car looked when it came to us. Putting a torch on the paint in particular, it was really, really bad. And there was quite a lot of paint on here, and traditionally Ferraris have quite thin paint of this age, so I don't think it's ever really had much in the way of machine polishing or any kind of detailing. So it's been a really nice blank canvas for us to work with to get the most out of it. There's still tiny bits in it, but I think we're surprised how well it's come up, to be honest. And normally we're our own worst critics, so we're quite pleased with this one. But I'll walk you around the car and show you what we've done. I mean, you've seen all the underside work that's been done on the car whilst it was on the ramp. So obviously all the underside of the car has been steam cleaned, under sealed. So to match all the mechanical work that's been done, you'd eat your dinner off it underneath now. Wouldn't recommend it, but with the paint, as I say, you're probably into 40 man hours of polishing have gone into it before we've then moved on to the G-Technic ceramic coatings on there. The glass as well, that's all been polished and coated. So yeah, I mean, the outside of the car speaks for itself. The wheels have been off it as well, as you'll have seen on the ramp. Those have all been fully deconned and coated and put back on. And then the engine bay I will show you shortly, but inside the car it wasn't too bad actually. Inside it was just dirty and grimy, like the carpets. It's got red carpets, so they have a habit of showing up everything, so those have all been steamed and wet back to bring everything out of those. We've had one leather repair to do. I mean, we thought when we got it in, you never quite know until you've fully cleaned and stripped back the leather whether there's any repair work to be done or whether it just needs cleaning. But the seats and door cards and everything like that came up really well. It's just the steering wheel was kind of too far gone, so we've had that colonised, which is essentially leather paint that goes on, so that now looks like a new steering wheel. Okay, so we'll show you in the engine bay, which probably one of the smaller jobs on this car, because bear in mind it's been for engine and gearbox rebuilds and everything like that. The engine's been completely out of the car. It's been split in half for about the last 6 months, but we thought while it's in, we've done the underside, the rest of it looks as if the car's out of the box. So in here now, it's getting on for concourse standard, ready to be used, which hopefully it will. Thanks everyone for watching. Been great to show you what 100 hours looks like when you put it into an 80s supercar. We do new cars, old cars, 2-year-old cars, you name it. We can transform anything. But no, thank you for watching. If you've got any more questions as to what went into the process, comment on the video, like and subscribe, and we look forward to seeing you on the next one.